Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber Lynn. Today I'm going to share with you the perfect Tulum itinerary and everything you need to know. Because of social media, Tulum wasn't anything like what I expected. However, through my experience, I was able to learn a lot, which I'm excited to share with you here in this video. I want to start by saying how unique Tulum truly is with its intriguing Mayan history, the ruins, beaches, cenotes, diverse wildlife, the friendly locals, amazing food, and its vibrant nightlife. Although there are many positives, these are the things I didn't expect. The first thing I want to talk about is an issue I actually learned about from the locals. The coastline is now largely privatized by international chains looking to capitalize on Tulum's gaining popularity. Therefore, many of the locals are frustrated about having to pay to enjoy their own beaches. Second, I knew Tulum was going to be a very popular travel destination, however, I didn't realize how popular. Because many of the cenotes, ruins, and other attractions have become commercialized, they all get extremely busy. As a photographer, I found it very difficult trying to get the shots that I wanted because of the amount of people at every location, even if I went to a location right at opening. I found that because some of the cenotes have accommodations on the property, people would already be there along with when I arrived, so it is just really hard to get a cenote to yourself unless you book it out privately or have some kind of tour where they somehow give you private access. But even if it's a tour, it might not actually give you the private access that you're looking for because you might still be traveling with a group. Also, depending on the cenote and the amount of people, you might have to wait in line to get the photo that you desire. Another thing I didn't expect about the cenotes were that some of the popular ones felt more like water parks than being out in nature. The third thing I want to talk about is that personally I found traveling as a photographer to be expensive and a little discouraging. For example, with cenotes, you have to pay to enter. You also might have to pay for a life jacket, which a lot of them require you to wear. And then if you have a camera, like a DSLR, drone, GoPro, you have to pay to use that as well. And some cenotes will even charge you per camera you want to use. Not all cenotes charge you for a camera, but I would say the majority do. Even at some of the iconic photo locations, they will charge you just to take a photo, or they will make you rent a time slot. For example, the Hand. They charge over $200 US for a 50-minute time slot. However, it does come with a bottle of wine. So if you have the funds, definitely check it out because it is beautiful. Personally, I think it's too expensive, but it is something that I would like to see one day. Another thing is that some of the beach clubs will also try to charge you if you want to use a professional camera. One of the clubs that I was at wanted to charge me $100 US just to take some photos, which I did not do because it wouldn't have been worth it to me personally. So the fourth and last thing I want to mention are the roads driving in Tulum and also Google Maps. So some of the roads look like they're meant for off-roading or riding on with an ATV, which I did not expect. I was a little worried at first about my little rental car, but thankfully it made it along these roads just fine. They are pretty rocky and like sandy. You'll see sometimes trash along the sides. So initially when I saw these roads, I thought maybe I was going the wrong direction or I wasn't supposed to be there, or maybe that it was like some kind of construction site. But those are the roads that you will be taking to some of your accommodations. As far as driving goes, I knew it would be kind of chaotic driving in Tulum, but I don't think I just realized how chaotic it would be. A lot of people don't use their turn signals, and it kind of seems like people are making their own lanes. However, if you drive carefully, it's just fine. Then with Google Maps, for some reason, Google Maps did not want to take me the right direction or to the right place multiple different times, so just be aware of that. I'd recommend downloading the offline map so you can just look at the map manually if you're struggling to get to your destination. Just be aware that there are some one-ways and they're not necessarily labeled, or you won't see the arrow painted on the street right away. Now that you know all of that, I'm gonna share with you what I think the perfect itinerary would look like. Keep in mind that depending on the time you have and the type of trip this is for you, these tips will vary. So first, although this is technically outside of Tulum, I'd recommend heading to Valladolid after you land. This is a beautiful, less touristy town full of shopping, great food, and even some cenotes in the area. Therefore, I'd recommend staying here at least 1 to 3 nights. One thing I want to mention with the shopping here is that you're going to see the same items in Tulum Centro and also on the beach for significantly less. So don't make the same mistake I did paying full price for things. You can definitely haggle with some of the people and get a lower price. Then, if you're looking to check out the city and more cenotes, I'd recommend heading over to Tulum Centro. This area is going to be a lot cheaper than staying at the beach, and it's also not even that far away. Depending on the amount of cenotes you want to check out and what you want to do in the city, I would recommend staying here at least 2 to 3 days. While staying in Tulum Centro, I would highly recommend taking one of those days to plan a day trip to Sian. If you're looking to see diverse wildlife and do a little snorkeling, this is the place to visit. Sian, meaning origin of the sky, is the largest protected area in the Mexican Caribbean. It's home to a vast biodiversity, especially bird and marine species in its tropical forests, mangroves, marshes, and barrier reefs. Be sure to wear environmentally safe sunscreen and bug spray while out there. Now that you've seen many of the iconic cenotes and checked out the city of Tulum, it's time to head down to the beach. Although it is a little more expensive, I would highly recommend staying at least 2 to 3 nights. Personally, I think it is worth it to pay a little extra to be able to start and end your day on the beach, because there is just so much to do and see in this area. You have the beach clubs, there are even some cenotes, all of the great food, shops, and also art. It is a lot of land to cover, so I would recommend renting either a scooter, bike, or ATV to get around. If you do decide the price isn't worth staying in this area, I'd recommend adding more days to Tulum Centro and just doing day trips out here. If you do come to this area on a day trip, I'd recommend parking in one of the lots, because usually it's only 200 pesos for a full day. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope that these tips are helpful to you, and if you're interested in some of the top recommendations that I've found through all of my research, I've organized it onto printable sheets, which I will have in a folder in the description box below, so check it out. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and come water with me in the next one.